And we know historically there have been many brutal slayers in whatever religion. All we need to do is go back to the 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 1900s, the Roman Catholic Church. We go back to, of course, the Emperor Constantine, the inventor of Christianity. The inventor and the one that was partaking in the struggles of creating what is today called the Muslim religion. But it matters not what religion you are. It really doesn't matter if you have a religion or you don't. And some of you may say, well, listen to this one. And I say, yes, listen to this one, because it all comes down to who you are. What do you do? If you use your almighty creator given reasoning to your soul, if you use it, many of you have not come to a point in your existence to reason. And many of you cackle like chickens with no head. You have to come to this place that for thousands of years now, you haven't grown up. You have not seen the destructions that have been created, destructions of antiquities. And I mean, this planet has had some beautiful antiquities, beautiful ancient places of tranquility and harmony. This earth has also had times where mankind attempted to live in harmony with one another. But today, it seems to be slipping away. The hatred that one government can inflict on its own by stirring up wars here, there and there, that then later come and deflect itself back upon the countries that create the war, the hatred. And that is the same with you as a human being. It is the very, very same that from the moment you come and you learn to take your first steps, someone, somewhere, somehow should have the love and the compassion and to teach you to live from the highest of your consciousness. To teach you to go deep within. To put yourself constantly within the moccasins of someone else. And if you are capable of doing it, then you will also be the one that will say no to killing, no to horrible anger and confusion, because you are the one then that steps back and will look at self, within self, and starts to reason about your soul and spirit condition. You know, when we see here around everywhere, it is like a cyclical thing. It goes under and it rises up. Various religions, various isms that have been there. and then they go through this state. As we right now, we see this state of certain religions coming out of the wherever. And one religion that labels itself many, many labels, supposedly, of non-violent, but they don't pull their nose to send their daughter or son in to blow up someone else. Even when the daughter or son is so small, hasn't tasted the cup of life. Isn't it time, high time, that you turn within and start to ask yourself, who am I? What will I be in the future? When they speak about karma, but all these people that speak so much about karma, when they see someone suffering on the road, hungry, wet and cold, they will not stop to offer any assistance. They will not think of sending any love, kindness and compassion to make sure that that one that is somewhere, whether in the desert or whether on the streets of New York City, Los Angeles, and for that matter Vancouver, Canada. This country is so full of poverty, of children being hungry, of elders who cannot survive on the so-called good pension. Pensions in this country never gave up and came up with the idea that the cost of living was sky high. So we have many elders in this country that are hungry when they go to bed. In the 70s, 69, 70s, there were people who ate dog food. And at the moment, there isn't much of good dog food, somebody told me, on the shelves, and I asked why. And I said, you know, my granny is back to eating dog food because it is cheaper. There's more nutrition in the can of fancy dog food than she can afford. Imagine that is you later on. Just imagine, close your eyes and think it is you. And then close your eyes and think of a temple standing on the highway when you go to Vancouver, where the roof tile, one single roof tile, is $125. It's a very, very large temple. Just think about it. That there are the so-called karma people, all parked in their great big fancy cars and not so fancy cars, going for lunch that's supposedly free by huge donation. So this little granny couldn't go there and get a bowl of soup or a plate with food. No. But that's the place where you buy yourself free of karma. Donate 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, 200,000, $500,000. That's okay, depending how big you will reason it out, that it isn't some kind of temple brand. It doesn't matter whether they're Catholic or Muslim or Buddhist or who knows what they're all called. Who really knows? There are so many sprouting up every day that it is painful. And yet we know those who speak about Spirit, Holy Spirit and the Spirit world. But even they, when it comes down to it, are not willing to stand up, so many of them, except a few. So today I ask you, please be so kind and go within. Make this a better world. I've spoken to you in lectures in many places about evolving your spiritual self, about bringing into balance your so-called karmic condition. Karma is an ancient word. It goes all the way back to the Tao. We know that we need to come to a moment where we give within ourselves, and doesn't matter where we are at that moment. You suddenly can leave the body you're in. Any moment, any second. Wouldn't it be good if you shared of who you are, if you gave of your compassionate self and reached out? It isn't their karma to be poor. It isn't their karma. They were just not as greedy as you were. They were just not as go-getting as some of you are. They might be the ones that went and worked hard to make somebody else's life easier, more harmonious. So let us call on your higher spiritual life. Because this planet is in great need of change. With all these stories about 2012. And then 14th of March. Shouldn't you be much more concerned that it could be any second, any moment that you could step out of your body, or you suddenly, your time's up because you didn't know time's up? But all of you are running around there, so many of you. 2012, 2012, oh, 2012. I've heard so much of it. And I say, how amazing. How very amazing. The 14th of March, hullabaloo. And it goes onward. And a few months ago someone said, oh, do you know, by the end of January, you know, January the 25th. Is that so? Does it matter? No, it doesn't. Really, it doesn't. The only thing that matters, if there are a bunch of evil warmongers and haters that are creating a war, to find a way, find a place of safety. That's the only thing that cares. That is the only thing that matters. For those things you must be safe. But for Creator's sake you have to run and be safe. Creator doesn't want you to run anywhere other than to make sure that you work on your soul energy and become a better person.